friends, welcome to my loud office. The reason why I'm doing a video today is because I realized that I have provided the lace, but I haven't really shown how I actually stitch it together and put it into my garments. And so I thought I would just sort of talk about some of the different ways you can do that. My eyebrows look horrible. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to start by doing the techniques that you do by hand, and then after that I'll get to how you can also accomplish these things with machine. But first I just sort of wanted to point out that I do recognize that my lace is uneven in different parts, and the reason why I actually like this is because it gives me more variability when I'm trying to match up edges. So if all of this was the same, it probably wouldn't match up with the edge, but because it's different, the boxes are a different size, I can maneuver it to get the alignment that I need. So this is the Vicelio compass squares, and actually in the model book they're actually drawn uneven, so I went ahead and just copied what I saw because I thought that it made it look more authentically made. And here we can see that when we align the boxes on this side, that they do indeed match up properly. And after that long explanation, it turns out I cut it wrong, so now we're doing this side. I'm using the 30 weight linen thread from Burnley and Trowbridge, and what you want to do is don't put a knot at the end because it's just going to pull through anyway. You're going to instead bury the tail, which means that you are going to lay the edge along the path that you're going to take. And then as you go, you're going to cover it up and it'll hold nice and tight. Okay, and while you're holding all three of those pieces together, you're going to start by going under and then through, and you're going to cut through the middle and go under and through the top again. And you alternate this as you go, and it creates a figure 8 pattern. And that's it, you just keep going. Make sure you wear a thimble, by the way. I wasn't. That's bad. Here's a tip, because sometimes things don't line up properly and you get a little bit of a difference in lengths, is I actually go in and just tie in a couple places before I start. Another hand technique you can use is the whip stitch or the overcast stitch. This is a rolled hem, and this is the lace, the edging lace that I'm going to use. For this you are going to need to make a knot on the end. What I do is I go ahead and I'm going to hide that knot. Oh, but first make sure you turn around the lace so that the nice sides are facing outwards together, and then you're going to line them up. Now I'm going to bury the knot inside that rolled hem towards the top. Go through, up through the top, down into the bottom, back up, and you keep doing that. I suppose it's a little bit like ladder lacing, and for most of the lace you're going to not be going through the baseline, you're going to be going up and around like you were with the figure 8 stitch. This just happens to be a pattern that has 2 lines and some gaps in between, if that makes any sense. This is what the front looks like when you're done. I'm using a vintage Bernina, so your machine will vary as far as its settings, but I make sure the stitch width is at a place that I like, and I make sure that the stitch length is going to be relatively short. Because I did the hand stitching already, it's already pretty much aligned, but you can do this without hand stitching first. I set up both pieces next to each other, and I make sure that when I put down the petal, the gap between the two is centered on where the needle will be at center. And now I just start slowly stitching. I'm making sure that I hold the pieces in the right place, fairly close to the foot. Don't sew through your hand. I know, sometimes they get you anyway. It's really that easy. If you're having a day or you're just like, nope, I want the machine, I'm not gonna judge you. And here's the close-up. And the final that I'm going to show is how to make insertion with the lace. So you're going to start out with 2 pieces that have rolled hem, and you're going to do the same thing as we just did on one side first. Zigzag all the way down. And now you're going to zigzag on the other side. And now you have your insertion. If you want to see some of the projects that I've made with this lace using these techniques, I suggest you go to my blog, and it's also my shop. It's called DSA Threads.net. Hope to see you there.